It is I, Out of Blood, the Ghoul Next Door, and this would be the Late Late Horror Show's cheesy 80 horror tag. I do believe that Dino from Late Late Horror Show created this tag himself, so cool, very cool. Question number 1, favorite cheesy horror film of all time from the 80s? Well, that's pretty simple for me. It's Black Roses. Question number 2, the worst cheesy horror film of the 80s? Well, for me, that was The Howling 3, The Marsupials. Marsupials. The Howling 3, Marsupials. Question number 3, the best produced cheesy horror film of the 80s. I'd say Witchboard. Question number 4, the weirdest cheesy horror film of the 80s. I had a little bit of an issue with this one. The first thing that came to mind was actually Company of Wolves, but that's not really a cheesy horror film. It's way better quality than what I would consider cheesy. Question number 5. The best scene from any cheesy 80s horror film? I'm going to say that's a toss-up between, going back to the movie Black Roses, the scene with the stereo demon that sucks the dad up into the stereo speaker, and then the stereo itself actually burps. So there's that scene. But also the movie To Die For. There's a scene at the end of the film where the two main villains there, the two vampires, are kind of arguing, and Vlad just randomly just screams, "Tom!" And Tom turns around in the middle of this big fight and it just goes, "What?" It's just so dry and so weirdly put that it gets a chuckle every time. So I say that's the best scene from any cheesy 80s horror film. Question number 6. Favorite creature in a cheesy 80s horror film? Once again, I'm going to come back to Black Roses and to the stereo demon. Number 7. Favorite alien-themed cheesy 80s horror film? I have to say, absolutely nothing came to mind for this one that was 80s. The couple of movies that I thought of right away, Oblivion and Oblivion 2 Backlash, were actually from the 1990s, so they don't count. So I guess I'm going to have to skip number 7 and number 9. Number 8, scariest cheesy 80s horror film. For me, that's Prince of Darkness. I can't put into words what it is about this movie that freaks me out, but yeah, it does. Number 9, favorite sci-fi themed cheesy 80s horror? Again, as I said, I really couldn't think of everything I kind of thought of were early 90s, so I'm gonna have to skip number 9. Number 10, the cheapest looking cheesy 80s horror. I think I might go with Chopper Chicks and Zombie Town for this one. You're watching this, guess what? Tag, you're it. Until later, don't forget to subscribe, to come back and come back often. Leave me a comment, show me some love, and creeping screams.